The Aliyah family's love of London property and use of offshore financial secrecy to hide their wealth is mirrored by another political dynasty of the developing world, the Sharifs of Pakistan.
The Prime Minister of Pakistan has been disqualified from office. The court also disqualified the country's finance minister, Ishaq Dar.
This verdict was unanimous. All the 5 judges declared that Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif is not an honest and sagacious person, and hence he should be disqualified.
Nawaz Sharif is the 3 times elected Prime Minister of Pakistan. During his premiership in the 90s, Nawaz Sharif privatized many state-owned industries.
The privatization policies which were initiated by Mr. Nawaz Sharif during his stints as Prime Minister during the 90s, that is the start of corruption, where a lot of state holdings, they were portrayed as if they are making losses, and then they were handed out to different political backers of Nawaz Sharif, his friends and his business associates.
The government of Nawaz Sharif then passed a law that the tax authorities in Pakistan could not question the origin of money that entered Pakistan from abroad.
One thing which we need to remember, and this is very, very important. When you're in the power, you can make laws according to your will. You can actually manipulate the system. You can bribe the people. You can get cuts from wherever you want. And this is what the Sharifs has been doing, and this is what they've been accused over the years.
It's a close-knit family affair. In the case of Hudaybiyah paper mill, once you look at the directors and shareholders, it's only the entire Sharif family, the immediate blood relations, and a few cousins who are also mentioned as directors. To look at the shareholding of Ramzan sugar mill, that gives you an idea that it is run by Chief Executive Officer Mr. Hamza Shehbaz Sharif.
Shehbaz Sharif is a younger brother of Nawaz Sharif. He was the leader of the Punjab Assembly while his brother was Prime Minister. He is accused of laundering tens of millions of dollars through the Ramzan sugar mill, a company owned by the Sharif family.
Accounts were opened in the name of these low-level, low-wage employees who do not come into the tax net. Money used to be deposited in those accounts, and finally they used to land in the accounts of either Mr. Hamza Shehbaz Sharif, Mr. Sulaiman Shehbaz Sharif, or Mr. Shehbaz Sharif himself. In fact, these files which you see here, it gives the names, it gives the banking documents, the challans, everything which is mentioned in these, all the banking record, the names of the low-wage employees. Here is one example. Look at it. Mr. Masroor Anwar, he is depositing this in the name of Mr. Shehbaz Sharif. This is 1.6 million rupees. This was deposited in Habib Bank of Pakistan on 27th April 2017 when Shehbaz Sharif was the Chief Minister. This is another deposit, 13th May 2016, in the name of Mia Muhammad Shehbaz Sharif, an amount of 6,52,451 rupees deposited in an account by Mr. Masroor Anwar. 1 crore and 90 lakh rupees being deposited in the account of Mr. Shehbaz Sharif by Masroor Anwar. Now, you might ask, who is Masroor Anwar? Masroor Anwar, according to this investigation by the Federal Investigation Agency, was a low-level employee of Sharif family. Your own family member is the finance minister, and your other brother is the prime minister. So then entire banking chain was there to facilitate them. And I was talking to one of the sources in the investigation because once they investigated the bankers as to how it was happening under their nose and why they didn't stop all these activities, they said that people used to come with gunmen into the banks. And one of the female investigators said she was crying a banking official that what we could have done. The bank managers, they used to get a call from top executives in the bank. The banks themselves were part of this nexus of covering up the corruption of the Sharif family.
The so-called Panama Papers contain allegations of money laundering and tax evasion,
involving world leaders, and where some of them are accused of hiding their money in many cases in an effort to avoid taxes.
It was a surprise for the people in Pakistan because it came out internationally. It had much more credibility because previously over the years, the Sharif family had been using the news that all these allegations against them are politically motivated.
Sharif's 3 children are named in the Panama Papers. His family owns properties in London through offshore accounts. Sharif's daughter denies owning the London properties. Documents from her allegedly date back to 2006 and show she is a trustee of the properties, not an owner. But those documents are written in a font called Calibri, which was not commercially available until 2007.
If you look at 1992 and 93, this is a very important time. Mariam assets grew 21 times. And there's no justification for that. In a single year, you are not a business owner. There's no business under your name, but 21 times your assets are going up.
In 1992, Mariam Nawaz turned 19 years old. After the Panama Papers revelations, Pakistan's investigative agencies probed the financial affairs of the Sharif family.
The joint investigation team basically found out that Mr. Nawaz Sharif could not justify the assets he had made from known sources of income. That was one of the main charges.
The matter was sent for criminal prosecution. In criminal prosecution, there was a trial which went on for almost a year. And in that trial, not even a single answer came from Mr. Sharif about the origin of his wealth or the explanation of those 4 Avonfield flats in London.
Where is the money trail? That they have never been able to prove.
The Sharif family is believed to be one of the wealthiest in Pakistan, but the origin of their wealth remains a mystery.
The flat that you're living in at the moment in Mayfair was actually number 4, which was illegally bought by your father through various Swiss and offshore companies.
Why don't people who are actually blaming us for that go to the courts and prove it?
But do you know who owns the flat that you're living in?
Well, that is not the question right now.
Why not? But it's the question I'm asking you. Do you know who owns the flat?
Well, it's on a rent. I'm renting on a rent basis, which comes from every quarter from Pakistan.
You're renting it personally, or the money comes from Pakistan?
The money comes from Pakistan. I'm just like any other student living with his parents. I doesn't necessarily has to know about what the facts and who owns the flat and who pays for the rents and who pays for my living. The family deserves all this. It is not my fault that I was born in a rich family, in a wealthy family. My grandfather earned that with a hard work, sheer hard work.
When you ask them that where you got this money from, they will start telling you the story of their late grandfather. At the time of independence, we came from India, we have businesses. Seriously speaking, there's no business in the world which has no money trail.
If you look at their tax filings, it doesn't come out as a big industrial family. The Sharifs never featured in that rich families of Pakistan. But now if you make a list of the richest families in Pakistan, then definitely Sharifs would feature in the top 10, maybe in the top 5, because exact amount of their holdings as to how much is hidden in Luxembourg, in UK, in UAE, in Saudi Arabia, what is in different bank accounts in the United States, that is not known. Whether it is $4 billion or $5 billion, that is not known.
In December 2018, as a result of the Panama Papers revelations, Nawaz Sharif and his daughter are sentenced to 7 years on corruption charges. Nawaz Sharif is granted bail for medical treatment in London and refuses to return to Pakistan. From London, Nawaz Sharif claims his downfall is a conspiracy by the Pakistani military.
बिजली का बिल बिजली बनकर गरीब पर गिर रहा है। बाजवा साहब, जवाब आपको देना होगा। दवाई ना मिलने से मेरे पाकिस्तान का गरीब मर रहा है। बाजवा साहब, जवाब आपको देना होगा। गरीब की रोटी 10 रुपए की हो गई है। बाजवा साहब, जवाब आपको देना होगा। और जनरल फैज, ये सब कुछ आपके हाथों से हुआ है। जवाब भी आपको देना होगा। आपने नवाज शरीफ को बागी कहना है, जरूर कहिए। गद्दार कहना है, जरूर कहिए। इश्तिहारी कहना है, जरूर कहिए। हाई जैकर कहना है, जरूर कहिए। लेकिन नवाज शरीफ अपने गरीब और मजलूम आवाज की आवाज बनता रहेगा।
We contacted Priti Patel MP, the Home Office Minister, to ask her why Nawaz Sharif, who had overstayed his British visitor visa by 2 years, had not been extradited from Britain. Priti Patel had been eager to deport asylum seekers during her time at the Home Office, yet she took no action against Nawaz Sharif. Priti Patel MP in the Home Office did not agree to an interview. We also contacted the National Crime Agency. We wanted to find out why there had been no meaningful investigation into Nawaz Sharif's assets. The NCA did not agree to speak to us. Nawaz Sharif is not the only member of the Sharif family who has made London his home.
London is the second home of House of Sharif. Hassan Nawaz is here, Hussein Nawaz is here, Hussein's children, Zikriya and another son is here, right? Hassan's children are here, Nawaz Sharif is here. And then if you look at Ali Dar, who is the son-in-law of Nawaz Sharif, Asma Nawaz Sharif, who is the youngest daughter of Nawaz Sharif, she's here. Ishaq Dar is here. Then Shehbaz Sharif family is here as well. Sulaiman Shehbaz is here. Ali Imran, who is actually the son-in-law of Shehbaz Sharif, who also lives in this country. Shehbaz Sharif's daughter, Rabia Imran, is also in this country. And she is actually on a run and wanted in Pakistan. Ali Imran is wanted in Pakistan. Ishaq Dar is wanted in Pakistan. All these people are wanted in Pakistan.
Sitting in Pakistan, in a third world country, you look at it as to why most of the people who are wanted by the courts in Pakistan, by the law in Pakistan, they find a refuge in London, UK. It doesn't make sense to me.
London is the destination of choice for politically exposed persons and their family members who have accumulated vast fortunes beyond their known sources of income. These fortunes are frequently laundered or transferred offshore to or through British dependent jurisdictions, where their origin and ownership are obscured and money can be reinvested into the global economy. Capital flight is a major concern for developing countries.
We know that there is a huge capital flight, and it's not just specific to our time period. It has been historical. It directly impacts the economy because you see the issue is that if our currency is not doing well and we have a serious issue of sustaining the value of Pakistani rupee, that has a correlation with capital flight.
The Financial Action Task Force, or FATF, an intergovernmental money laundering and terrorist financing watchdog headquartered in Paris, had put Pakistan on its grey list of jurisdictions.
Our financial systems have been made more accessible. We have sharing of information with almost everyone. We are pursuing many money laundering cases as far as we can pursue, because of course the missing element still is the cooperation from the other jurisdictions. That is not forthcoming. And sometimes we wonder that we are in grey list, but the money that has been taken from here is in countries which are not in the grey list. So that is something that, sometimes is like, okay, so why are we in the grey list then?
We approached the FATF for an interview. The FATF declined to speak to us. We would have liked to ask the FATF how it was possible for the UK, Switzerland and Luxembourg, among others, to be considered clean when these countries are known to be major money laundering centres, through whose economies billions of dollars of illicit money are reinvested every year.
The money is stolen here and it is hidden in the developed countries, in the developed world. If that is happening, it's not just the fault of Pakistani system that the money is able to go out. What I question is the the double standards. So, for example, if you ask on one side from countries like Pakistan to have more checks and be more open, we expect in return the same from other countries when we are investigating someone. We will write a mutual legal assistance request to, let's say, Switzerland, and we will say that we have information that Mr. A has a bank account in Switzerland.